What's up you guys, my name is RBG and welcome back to another Transformers The Last Night update video. This video is going to be pretty brief compared to the usual videos because there's not much to talk about, but I can elaborate on this small bit of news to create food for thought and sort of contribute to this big speculation going around the community. Yesterday we got a potential spoiler that revolves around the fate of Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. As we've all seen by the trailer, it looks like one of the two will most likely meet their death, to which a lot of fans have assumed it will be the Autobot scout Bumblebee, which I have to admit, it does look like B could meet his untimely death at the hands of Optimus since he's been on the receiving end of a beatdown throughout all the clips and TV spots. Now I'm still gonna guess that he will survive because he's the mascot of the live action film series and one of the most beloved characters to the kids, and I truly believe that that would be a big marketing mistake. But on the same token, it would also be a bad move to just self Optimus Prime because he's just as big, and I don't think Hasbro feels like repeating history where they received the same negative backlash they got back when they decided to kill off the first wave G1 characters, including Optimus in the '86 film. But either way, it won't necessarily matter since we have some pending prequel films set to be released after TF5, one being a standalone Bumblebee movie and two that have no confirmed details other than one of them being named Transformers 1, which I'm assuming will feature the entirety of all the Transformers before they left Cybertron. But anyways, a particular article came out regarding a promotional cardboard standee for Transformers The Last Night, featuring a rather peculiar looking picture of Optimus Prime. First off, let me just say that I've seen this picture for months now and never thought too much of it rather than the fact that it's just our Autobot leader showing off in a cool battle stance. I mean, I noticed certain pieces that have been added to his armor, but I didn't really think that much of it because we've seen many instances where Optimus Prime received slight upgrades in some of the sequels. A good example would be Transformers 3. To a viewer who's not big into detail, it would look like there's no difference between Dark of the Moon Optimus and the ones we've seen in TF1 and the Revenge of the Fallen film, but a devout TF fan would notice right off the bat that Optimus Prime did have subtle changes to his design in TF3, mainly in his upper body. If you noticed in the first two films, his torso was completely red with no signs of the grille of his vehicle mode, but in the third installment his abs are fully armored. He most likely got that upgrade from the Wreckers shortly after their arrival because almost all the returning Autobots were packing some new armor and weaponry. Like B had a stealth evasion mode where he could shoot out projectiles while still in vehicle form, and Sideswipe had a similar method of combat, and instead of his alt mode being a hardtop Corvette, the design team decided to take off the top and turn him into a roadster convertible. But my point is, if there's no significant vehicle change for the Autobots, only minor things will be added to their robot designs. With that said, I think I could possibly be wrong in assuming that was the case with this promotional poster we got from Toys R Us. But before I delve into this image, I would like to share what comicbook.com had to say about this because they seem to be onto something that could be a major spoiler for this oncoming film. This article was written by journalist Kofi Outlaw and it reads as such: Transformers The Last Night has a mysterious story involving history of both the Transformer and human races, with the former story arc bringing the Autobots and Decepticons into contact with the beings who supposedly created them. From what we've seen in the trailers for The Last Night, the story will see Optimus Prime go through some sort of process where his creator turns him into a purple-eyed maniac, who violently assaults his loyal soldier Bumblebee and his human ally from Age of Extinction, Cade Yeager. Well, that same action sequence hinted that Bumblebee was about to meet a violent end at Optimus' hands, but today we have a promotional design from The Last Night which suggests a much more fantastical development. What you see above is a Transformers 5 promotional standee that was supposedly discovered at Toys R Us via Screen Rant. It clearly shows Optimus Prime will get a new body in The Last Night, and from the color scheme and the design, it seems pretty clear that parts of Bumblebee's body have been added to Optimus's frame. Now there are several speculative possibilities from what this image hints at. Number 1. Optimus Prime actually carries out his destruction of Bumblebee and later honors his fallen soldier or relies on him one last time by adding the repaired parts of Bumblebee's leftovers. Number 2. Optimus and Bumblebee willingly merge into one form in order to win some kind of battle. And number 3, it's actually Optimus who sacrifices himself after destroying Bumblebee and donates his body to rebuild Bumblebee. In short, it's actually Bumblebee and Optimus Prime's body. Now that bit of information can't be written off so easily. I know I'm one who believes in seeking out more confirmation before I share something with you guys, but this speculation was way too big to skip out on. From what we've gathered from this article is that Optimus or Bumblebee are most likely going to bite the bullet and someone's going to become a binary host for the survivor near the end of this film. It says that Optimus Prime will receive a new body with bits and pieces of Bumblebees which will be added to its frame. That sounds like an elaborate theory, but I don't think it's a new body for Optimus or Bumblebee. Just take a closer look. It would seem like it's just Optimus Prime with a couple of new yellow pieces of Bee's armor added on top, but if you use your keen eye, you'll notice that it's actually Bee wearing the armor of Optimus Prime. Now before you start typing, just hear me out. What if Bee becomes damaged beyond repair and somehow he's able to take the armor off of Optimus to further aid him in combat? After all, the vehicle parts aren't necessarily the vital points of the Transformers, the protoforms are, which the Autobots and Decepticons arrive in before they perform their trans-scanning method to choose what alt mode they prefer. And that's basically like the exposed parts that make up the Transformers' internals. So it could be, as the journalist mentioned, Optimus and Bee somehow merge into one form, or Optimus could sacrifice himself after destroying Bee. If you think of it this way, Optimus Prime is a quote-unquote knight, and knights wear armor, so it's a no-brainer to assume that such actions could be done. Just look at the arms and abdominal. You can see that yellow pieces are being somewhat overlapped or covered by the blue and red ones. And another thing I've noticed is how the forearm gauntlets on Optimus's armor have reverted back to how they looked in the first half of Age of Extinction. If you recall, Optimus went through a slight change in the later half of the film where his arms transformed into these medieval knightly-like gauntlets to assist him in pulling out the sword from the Knight's Temenos. The most notable thing I have yet to mention is how Bumblebee isn't sporting the look he had in the previous film. It's like he downgraded back to the robot mode he had in Dark of the Moon, which I thought was a little weird, but now that we got this new rumor of him potentially combining with Optimus, I can kinda see why. His Age of Extinction robot mode was a little beefy, and if I'm gonna be honest, it's one of my least favorite looks. He had these oversized calves that made him look like a Mega Man character, and it made his upper body look super small, and I absolutely hated his arm cannon because it looked like a recolor of the cannon used by Megatron in Revenge of the Fallen. I'm guessing the designers probably thought it would be suitable to give him that visual upgrade to level the playing field with Stinger, but it just made him look like a yellow recolor. But anyways, they may have downgraded back to the previous robot mode because the legs and arms look smaller but proportioned, and Bee has his old faceplate back. I think they went ahead and did this so they wouldn't have to worry about mass shifting Bumblebee so that he could fit into Optimus Prime's armor. It wouldn't look right having the Age of Extinction form with the armor since his calves made Optimus look like he was skipping out on leg day for centuries. Not to mention those weird looking spiky wheels he had on his back. I'm just guessing that Optimus either dies or he simply sheds his armor and lends it to Bumblebee, making him the new Prime that Michael Bay and his producer have mentioned will surprise the audience. They did say that this was a new, never before seen Prime, and this is looking like it could be what they're alluding to. As to how this method is performed is anyone's guess. If I'm gonna come up with a theory, I'm going to say it was from binary bondage, which is a method performed by the Power Masters. If you remember in my recent video, I mentioned that Cade Yeager could possibly be a Nebulon who wields the ability to tap into a lifeless Transformer's body or simply fuse with them to become a Power Master. That's just one of my theories. The other features the hammer that we've seen Bee wielding in various trailers that could possibly be the Forge of Solus Prime. Most of the die-hard fans know that the Forge wields the power to create weapons as well as restore things that have been destroyed. So there's a chance that they somehow retooled Optimus Prime's armor to fit on the Bumblebee's body or vice versa. Once again, these are just my speculations. There's still a high probability that none of this will take place. After all, it is a theory regarding a mere promotional cardboard cutout, so you never know. But anyways, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that this peculiar promotion art is alluding to a possible fusion between Optimus Prime and Bumblebee? Could this be the new mystery Prime Michael Bay mentioned in various articles? Let me know down in the comments section below. As always, I ask that you like or dislike the video. It doesn't matter if it's a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. Any feedback is good feedback and will only help me improve on future content. And if you're interested in more news coverage on TF5 or Transformers videos in general, subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay updated. But anyways, this was your boy RBG hitting you up with another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
You back to the heart of the war.